Chris, nice to see you here. Sean, love the glasses.
Thanks. I'm just, changing it up there. Good to see you.
Right, ready. We're ready to rock and roll.
I like the background. I like seeing in your office today.
Yeah.
How many we got on so far?
Let's see. Good morning, Vincent. We have Kathy. We have Chris, Mary, Shelly. Turn your cameras on. It's a seen and be seen business. So Leah Joy, what a perfect name. Your name matches your energy. Chris is
Yes,
making
and I'm a Leo, so like watch out.
So we'll give
What's up, my
everyone
man? How are you?
doing good.
Yeah, just multitasking.
There you go. You're getting your last deal in up to the last minute. So we cannot be more excited to get started today. We have a fun journey planned for all of you ahead. And look, I would say for a coach, the fuel to our gas tank is like our success is your success. So, as you use the information you learn, please share your wins with us, right? We will share them with other people, but it's really important just to hear from you how things are going. And it also allows us to personalize the program to your goals, your expectations, and your unique situation. So wait one more minute and we'll get started. So in the chat, why don't you all drop what you're hoping to get out of today? It's always a good starting point. Nicole, I love your background. Our studio, our podcast studio has a similar background. All right, 101, we are going to get started. All right, so Compass One is, I would say, my favorite tool at Compass. And so we are going to start our journey here as this one tool really collaborates everything together. And at the end of today, I can confidently share with you, I'm going to show you how to ask 5 questions or less and win every listing presentation. Bold claim, nice way to start out. So welcome Compass Arizona. So what I want to share with you is ultimately how to get the most out of the next 12 weeks. So the session formats that your leadership team and I had come up with, and the most important thing, especially to Sean, who was very clear about this, he's like, look, I want to make this really simple for everybody. Shrag, can you share with them how they pitch the tool, right? So they can win more business from their clients, earn their full commissions, create a better client experience, and outposition the competition, and then share with them the most effective way on using it. And that's what the format of each session is going to be. We have followed each session up with a hands-on workshop, right? Many times in technology training, everyone's always showing you how do you hit all these buttons, where really as an agent, what you want to know is, great, how do I communicate this to my client? How do I win business? And what's the one way to use it? So everyone make sure that every week when you attend a session to show up in person, right? This is a learn and do business. And confidence comes from the consistency of action. Kobe Bryant always says you'll never be good at something you don't practice. And as an industry of self-employed people, the amount of practice that we spend on new technology tools or the conversations that we have with our clients every day are minimal. I can see that you all are very different, and there's close to 200 people that signed up for role playing, which is pretty incredible. And that brings us to the last part, role playing. So at the end of every hands-on workshop, there'll be an opportunity for you to role play with your colleagues. I beg and plead with you. Take the script that we give you and practice it, right? If you can't practice it with somebody else, just say the words to yourself over and over and over again. And even when you feel like you might not understand it, you're subconsciously programming those words to your memory. So when you communicate them with somebody, you're going to have the confidence. So for many of you, I have never met you before. So my name's Shrag Shah. I'm the founder of Shrag Shah Coaching. I would say that my fun fact was I was an agent too. Compass acquired my brokerage in 2018. And when I tell you I got my license at 23 years old, I had no idea what I was doing. That is an understatement. The first networking event I ever showed up to, I had black shoes and white socks and people laughed at me. And I've been spending my entire life just trying to figure it out. So they always say when you're helping somebody, you're helping a past version of yourself. So I just want to create clarity where there's confusion. So I worked at Compass 2 years as an employee. I've created Pitching Compass, how you sell Compass to consumers. I built the Robert Refn Agent Action Plan. I have a whole Compass 3-phase marketing system. We also every Friday do a podcast style session called Real Time Coaching Lab. That's live coaching for top agents where they're either sharing what they're doing or working through their challenges. And what you can actually expect from me is how to do everything, right? What these sessions are not going to be is a bunch of here's what you do, here's what you do. Now go figure out your resources, go figure out how to do it. We teach to the system versus just giving you more information, which you don't need. So let's get into today, right? So for the sake of all of us, we're all starting at the same place, right? We're learning a new platform. Compass is a new language. There's a lot of different technology. So here are all the challenges that people face. So for context, I have 7 years and 17,000 plus hours on training people on this specific platform and only working with agents at this company. I have never in my entire life since 2018 spoken to or worked with one agent outside of Compass. Why is that important? I'm going to synthesize the context of what's working now and just give it to you in the easiest format. But where we all get stuck, right, is the technology adoption mindset. Everyone makes things way more complicated than it is. And people are resistant to change, right? They have this mindset that says, well, this is the way I've always done it. It works. Why should I change? Right? And the last one is the do-it-all mentality. You know why most New Year's resolutions fail? Because they're unrealistic. People try to do everything at once. I'm going to master this tool at once. Well, many of us, how many people here have kids? So for all of us that are parents or have nieces, nephews, grandkids, you all have something, right? If a child said to you, Mom, Dad, I'm going to master playing the violin in 1 day or 1 hour, it's not realistic, right? So having that mindset of I'm going to do all of it, I'm going to learn it all at once. It's like doing your homework and postponing the reading. I'll read 20 pages tomorrow, 30 pages the next day, 40 pages. It doesn't work, right? So understanding your mindset in the way that I define it, it's the ability to think through something differently than you presently do today. And that's the challenge I have for all of you. Now, let's talk about the value we provide as agents and the challenge that we have. It is in so many different places that it gets lost. When your clients want something for you, they email, right? You ever hear the saying, your inbox is an organized system for other people's agendas? So all of the valuable things are generally communicated through emails. Then when they can't find stuff, they're programmed to randomly call you. They're hidden in text threads. And the goal is to centralize this all in one location. Part of the reason as agents, we have such a hard time following our calendar, our schedule, time blocks, which are the promises we make to ourselves, is our phones keep ringing and they're not planned phone calls, right? So whether you email a client, text the client, or call a client, if that information is not in one place, what are they going to do? They're going to call you, right? That's not good for your client and it's not good for you. So how do we really solve that? Compass One. Number one, Compass One bridges the gap between what you do as an agent and the actual client experience. It's a streamlined system to manage your entire transaction into one place. It collaborates everyone into one place. And ultimately, just remember this. There's a phrase that I have called curated luxury. Curated luxury is organically anticipating your client's needs and having them happen before they have to ask. Your clients don't want to call you for random showing feedback, updates, what's going on, when's this happening. That is not good for somebody, right? We have one of the most expensive luxury services in the world. So our goal is to be in what I call perpendicular alignment. You will see me talk about that phrase all the time. It's when what you offer and what the client gets is a straight line, not one of these bumpy processes. So what does it really do? Streamline systems, right? So it's pre-programmed to automate different things. It organizes things for you, right? And we'll share with you in the hands-on session some of the workarounds and additional features that are coming, but we've built a system that works for you now. So I don't want anyone to get stuck. Well, it doesn't have everything, so we should just do nothing. It is incessantly better than what you have today. And quite frankly, what anyone can offer. Because if I asked every single agent here, what do you offer in exchange for the compensation you receive? This is the only piece of technology that solves that. It is a true luxury experience. And I think luxury is the new feeling, right? When everything is organized into one place, you know what's happening next. Anytime, any device, any update, anywhere, you could hit a couple buttons and find it. That is true luxury experience. And it's just a central communication hub. So you'll be learning how to program your clients to look in there first before they call, they email, they text you, right? Part of my favorite thing in this tool that I love sharing with agents is this actually creates a work-life balance for you. Because a lot of the communication that people ask you for, this can do for you in a more organized manner. So let's get into selling, right? How many people like selling? All right, most people don't raise their hands, right? So let me reprogram your mind around selling. So how I define selling is having effective conversations, helping other people get what they want, right? Nobody likes to be sold, but everyone loves to buy. So the goal is to create an experience for your client that at the end of it, the natural next step is for them to want what you have because it aligns with their goals, their expectations, and their unique situation. So my first concept of selling is framing. Framing essentially is the context which you set up a conversation. You want it to be based on somebody's belief system, their values, the way they see the world, their goals, their expectation, individually or a combination of both. You'll know when you're speaking with somebody, right? So if you take the frame away from the conversation, it doesn't make sense to the other person, right? So the goal is to get them into alignment, into starting to think in what you're going to present. Now, here is your first frame in Pitching Compass One. Can you please take a moment and review the two types of agents, and please let me know which type of agent relationship aligns with your goals? Does anyone know the two different types of agent relationships? Chris, you know the two different types of? Oh, Nicole, what do you have?
You talking about transactional or relationships?
Yeah, in a nutshell, you have somebody that's a service provider and you have somebody that's a partner agent, right? True value in an agent is a partnership. And how many people are married or have a significant other? Or have ever had a significant other, right? So everyone's hand should, I hope, go up at least once. And so if you think about it, you can't do things in a relationship where one person's here and another person's there. The communication needs to be there. And there's a distinct difference between a service provider and an agent. Now watch this. I have, in full context, I have never spent more time on one slide, let alone even a presentation, as I did on this slide right here. So you're going to ask them this question. I'm going to give you this that's going to be in your listing presentation. So this is one of the resources that will be published into your Marketing Center account. Now look at this, a service provider versus a partner agent. Now you're going to slide this over to them and you're going to say, please take a few moments and review this. Now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 different things in the distinction between a service provider and a partner agent. Now, from mindset, communication, marketing approach, access to property, transactional handling, client involvement, post-closing support, value to client. What you don't want to do is literally read the slide to somebody, which is what people do, right? There's a concept, and write this down, called self-identification. We need our clients to self-identify with what's important to them. Has anyone ever wondered why at the end of a great presentation, your clients either end up not going with you, even though you offered more than the other agent, or they want to cut your commission? Does anyone know the actual answer to that question? I think about, this is like the weird things that keep me up at night. I think about in the shower. It's really simple. We never get our clients to self-identify what they want. So Sean, if you guys know, is a very particular gentleman, right? Sean wants what he wants. And if I don't know what he wants, there's going to be a problem, right? So if Sean wants 4 things, how many things should I talk to Sean about? 4, right? If Sean wants 4 things and I talk about 6 things, 8 things, 10 things, thinking like more is better, it's not the case. He's either going to come to one of 2 conclusions. One, what they offer is not what he wants, so they're not the right fit. Or the second one is Sean wants 4 things, I give him 8 things, I'm going to cut their commission. So in this slide and this part of your presentation, you're going to get them to self-identify with what parts of this are most important to them. So somebody might want to look at marketing approach, right? Leverages Compass 3-phase marketing to launch your home 3 times, utilizes a custom marketing suite that tailors the campaign to each listing versus what every other agent does, which is generic marketing pieces or standard brochures, minimal personalization for each property or neighborhood, which is pretty much what most agents do at most brokerages, right? So at the end of this, it's really clear what you do. And when they raise their hand and say it, subconsciously, it goes into their brain differently. Like, this is what I want. So then that brings you to the next slide. You're going to ask them, would it be okay if I shared with you how we'll create a personalized luxury client experience through our proprietary billion-dollar technology platform? You notice I highlighted personalized luxury client experience. Who doesn't want that? Through our proprietary billion-dollar technology platform. They're going to ask you, what's a billion-dollar technology platform? They're going to ask you, how do you create a personalized luxury client experience? So they're going to identify what they want. You're going to repeat it back to them, right? Which is echoing. So what I hear you saying, Sean, is you want blank, 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 and blank. And he's going to say, yes, 100%. He's going to feel seen. He's going to be heard. He's going to be acknowledged. Every time you use these words, write them down. Would it be okay? When you use the words, would it be okay, it always allows the other person to feel as if they're in control. But in sales, the person asking the questions controls the conversation. Are we all on the same page here? Is this anything that's complicated? Do you need any kind of special gift, skill, height, or anything else that's required for professional sports or anything like magnificent? No, you just need to practice, right? And the goal of the resources and the materials we share for you is so you don't have to do all the talking. So then you go to the next one. So after you ask the question, this is where you'd slide the next thing over, ideally on an extra large iPad. Now they're going to look at this and they're going to be like, wow, like real-time collaboration, a CMA, your marketing assets, your team, market updates, documents and resources, insights reports. This is going to pique their curiosity, right? And you're going to say, this is how we collaborate your experience inside of our billion-dollar technology platform. Now, many people are going to wonder, what do all of these things mean? So what you'll learn about Compass is the best part about Compass is the most challenging part about Compass. At Compass, you are their customer, right? And the challenging part at Compass is you are their customer, meaning all the product marketing is made towards you to use the product. You then have to synthesize this into words that human beings that you work with can understand. That is why the first program I ever made nationally here was Pitch Compass. It's how do we take the things that these tools do and personalize them to somebody's goals, expectations, or unique situation. Now, we built this little playbook for you, right? This and this both will be in your Marketing Center assets. So Thursday, after your hands-on workshop and role-playing, you'll get an email and you can use all of these things right away. But market updates, right? Real-time collaborative market updates, insights report, results of agents marketing. All of these different things are created. So the words in bold are what you offer. The words subheading is what they actually get. And these are the things that they want, right? So at the end of this, it should be really simple for a client to decide to work with you. We have some agents literally just doing this for their pitch. They send their marketing materials in advance. And from there, they just go through the pricing portion of the listing and they're done. Now, let me ask you a question. Can any other agent at any other brokerage offer a centralized location that collaborates multiple pieces of technology on any device, anywhere, anytime with any update in one place? Yes or no? No, right? So when we look at any of the top luxury brands in the world, why does the Four Seasons command more price than a Holiday Inn? It's the service they offer. It's the technology. It's all of the different things that go into that experience, right? We have clients that are now charging more money because they offer these things, right? When you say proprietary billion-dollar technology platform, and now you're showing them how this all works for them, it is a very different client experience. So how do we pitch this effectively? Number one, show versus tell, right? And we'll get into how do you use this with your clients shortly. Number two, you can pre-fill out their Compass One before going to the appointment, load things in after. We know agents that are doing this one simple thing and then sending it to their clients after as if they got the listing and they hire them, right? Because what do most agents send after? Hey, Sean, it was really great meeting you today. Here's some follow-up materials. And if you need anything else, let me know. Look forward to working with you. Is that clear, concise, and quantifiable in the value that they deliver? No. Does it personalize to somebody's goals, expectations, unique situation? No. So I call this concept the ownership experience. The ownership experience is having somebody think, feel, and talk about what you offer before they even get it. So if you build out their Compass One before the pitch, customize it even the littlest bit after based on what you heard and what next steps are, if they were working with you, how could they choose another agent? If they're drunk and don't have common sense, then yes, maybe. If not, like you're all good to go. All right, let's go to the secrets of selling value. Now, there's this concept of perceived value and actualized value. Does anyone know the difference that they could share? Most important concept. All right, somebody take a guess. Hint the word perceived. All right, so I've stumped all of you. Great. So perceived value, right? What they think they're getting, what you think it is. Okay, there we go. We got some chat activity here. So look, I can look at my perceived value as a coach, right? I was an agent. I have sold real estate. I have 17,000 hours of coaching agents at Compass. I've worked with many of the top agents, including Chris, who I'm starting to work with now. I've created different national programs, blah, 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 blah. These are all the things I know I can offer you. Do you know how much all of those things mean in reality? A big fat zero. Just like all of your resources, all of your tools, all of your network, all of your market share. Actualized value is what somebody understands that they're getting from you, right? And the difference between perceived value and actualized value comes down to the questions you ask, the words you use, and the visuals you share. So the goal is to turn your perceived value into actualized value. Right? Now, what are the common pitfalls of selling? You talk too much, right? The conversation is about you and what you do. Many of us in Sonar Settlement are worried about how we're going to earn full commissions or commissions at all. So what we do by over talking, over offering is projecting our fear, doubt, and worry onto our clients, right? So for whatever reason, when somebody raises their hand and says they want to move, immediately a light bulb goes off in our head. I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And the client's just thinking, okay, great. Like, how do I get a great value for my house? How does this not turn my life upside down? We show up to people's houses. We want to stage them. We want to declutter them. We want to paint them. So pretty much like within like a week to 2 weeks, their house now feels like a hotel, right? And we're just talking and we're talking and we're talking. We're not addressing the 4 things that Sean wants. We're not talking about listing life integration, right? And that is not being a great salesperson, right? Remember, having effective conversations, helping other people get what they want, right? So if we're just talking and talking and I can do this and I can do this and you're talking the whole time, it's not going to work. And the secret to all of this is you need to practice. I have not sold real estate in 7 years, minus the few deals I was forced into doing by clients. And when I see you one day in person, that's a funny story for a different day. Because you can imagine if you get dragged into one deal, it's not easy. It's just really complicated. It's a mess. But I'm good at this because I practice. Like when we have to learn this, I have to build a script and then I have to practice and practice and practice. So I have the confidence to share something with thousands of people that I don't do every day. This is a skill, right? Where consistency beats talent. I don't think hard work beats talent. I think consistency beats talent every single time in this industry. So whether you're a new agent or the most experienced agent, let me tell you this. If you're an experienced agent, keep doing this and you continue to be further ahead. If you're a new agent and you start doing this consistently, you will catch up to everybody because technology and AI are the greatest like leveling field that's ever existed in this industry. This is not mutually exclusive for people to have just the most talent. Like if you have market share, there's an arguable case to be made on how buyers find homes, the way that you leverage technology, that any agent can compete with you now. It's all in the conversation you have. So let's talk about this feature benefit destination model, right? Nobody wants to buy the flight. People want to buy the destination. Why do you think helicopters cost so much money? Because they get you to the destination. Well, the flight is essentially, I got to go to the airport. I got to go through security. I got to check in my bags. I have to wait to get there. Then I have to sit on the plane. Then it has to take off. You get what I'm saying? So the feature of Compass One, it's a luxury client experience, right? The benefit that the client gets is it centralizes every detail of their home buying or selling process. But what they really want is a collaborative selling experience where no detail is left to chance and that you maximize their equity. So if you start talking about everything you do from the destination perspective versus what the tool does or even how it shows up in their hands, that is how you get people ultimately bought into the ownership experience, the destination, and you're subconsciously programming them to understand how what you offer will get them what they want. And that's where that perpendicular alignment comes in. So here's what you do on your listing appointments, right? Number one, you have to follow the pitch formula. Having a structured approach is 1,000 times better than winging it, right? We showed you how to ask a few simple questions, identify an agent relationship. From there, share with them how those things are going to show up. And that even could be the end of it, right? Or it could just be part of your presentation. Number two, focus on alignment, right? Start thinking about how Compass One aligns with the words that somebody says. Because if you don't know the tool inside out and backwards and the client experience and how it shows up for them, you're not able to do these two things. The agents of the future and the most successful people are people that are going to be fluid, right? Fluidity means I know all of the tools in my tool belt, how to communicate their specific value based on somebody's goals, and I can move at the drop of a dime. You could ask me about any single Compass tool that exists on earth down to your CRM, and I could share with you how it's a value to the client, right? But I understand how to communicate the tools. Core values, transparency, collaboration, communication. Those are three things in the industry that people say that we lack. And it creates a first impression that makes you stand out, right? You don't get two first impressions. So when you're able to focus on the client's goals, expectations, unique situations, curate this experience to them, that's where the magic happens. So how do we get started and how do we most effectively use this tool with our clients? Number one, it starts with you. This is the number one thing that people don't teach in technology. So you need to go make a dummy Google account, or if you have a spouse, a partner, or somebody that's just tired of hearing about real estate that would love to nail you with feedback, this is a great place to get started, right? Or do it with your role play accountability partner that you'll get. So you need to, one, make a dummy account. Number two, you need to send yourself an email. Why do we need to send ourselves an email? We need to know what they receive on their phone, whether it's on a cell phone, a tablet, a computer, what the button looks like, what the email looks like, what's the next screen looks like, what does the client view look like, and as you add and customize things, how it populates and how it notifies them. That is the first step in how to use this best with your clients, because you already know how a transaction works and you're already the best in your marketplace, in my opinion. So once you learn the client process, it will give you the confidence in your pitches to be able to talk about it, right? When somebody says, yeah, you know, like I'm really busy, I'm really worried, like, how is this going to help me or how can I stay organized? Great, let me show you. Like we're able to send you these kinds of things. You'll get these kinds of notifications. You can log into your phone. You can see it like this. We align it with a calendar, so on and so forth, right? So that is the first step. Now, the client journey, right? You sign up, you navigate, you evaluate, you refine. Those 4 simple steps. And this holds true to every single tool here at Compass. Because at the end of this, what success looks like is that we're able to effectively follow one process for every single tool. We will prescriptively share with you both in the sessions how to communicate the value of the tool, the best way to use the tool. It's followed by a hands-on workshop, and then it's paired with role-playing. So here are your resources. The Compass One pitch slide, that amazing wheel that everyone wants, it's in your marketing center. Compass One, the seller's view, the explanation for what you offer for the clients, it'll be in your marketing center. The service provider versus the partner agent, it'll be in your marketing center. The pitch script will be emailed to you, and I have better written emails than the generic ones that they have now that'll be emailed to you. All the session recordings, we give you comprehensive notes, and the resources will be sent Thursday after the hands-on workshop and role-playing session. So here are the 3 things that I need you to do. Number 1, you need to create a client account, right? You need to attend the hands-on workshops, and then you need to practice your pitch. So we've given you the pitch, we've given you the materials, we've shared with you how to most effectively use it with your clients and the process that you follow. We know that they're hands-on workshops that your team created for you to show you how to hit the buttons and have the confidence to do this. Now, here's the important part. When you go to the hands-on session, have your dummy email address created, right? That's the most important part. And then start going through the process. I encourage all of you to get another agent in your office that you're going to practice with. It's going to be your accountability partner, and make each other the client. Now, there's one challenge that people always mentally have a hurdle in their marketplace, right? So I'll go with the exception this time before the rule. The exception says, me and Sean could be in the same price point. We're always pitching against each other. I can understand that. But for the majority of us, the statistical probability of 2 of you going with the same client is very low. So collaboration over competition. What does that mean? At the end of it, you just agree. If myself and Jeffrey ever have the same client, we just agree to collaborate, co-broke, and then we can practice together every day. And we don't have to worry about this is my competitor and blah, 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 blah. You can get so much more out of having a partner in your office that you can go through this journey with, that you can rely on. Real estate is one of the loneliest businesses in the world. From the moment you wake up in the morning and you turn your phone on, your life, business, and every thought is about everyone else but you. So pretty much 131, and that's it for us today. So this is the first session, so I've left nothing after this. If this was 30 minutes you blocked, great. You'll get comms from your team about the workshop. And if any of you have questions, I'm going to stay on and answer anything you have about both the presentation we made today or the next coming 12 weeks.
Hey, Charlie, there were some comments earlier back in here, and it's really had to do with a wheel. So it has to do with the resources that we currently have available to us to share with our clients as a seller versus the tools that we're going to have later on in the year when we integrate with the transaction platform inside Compass. Could you, I know you spoke with Annie beforehand because you wanted to make sure that we had access to all the tools that we were sharing. Can you pull that wheel back up real quick and just help everybody understand, you know, what really is working inside our market, so there is no confusion? I mean, I'm actually logged in right now as a seller client in my Compass One as a client, because I made a dummy for myself, and I can see the property that I, the seller, have listed. I can see a collection that was built for me by my listing agent to show me what other properties are on the market, so I can get a sense for what the market is doing. I can see the team members and the information that each person is involved in the transaction.
So this really comes down to documents, resources, insight, support, and marketing assets, right? So one of the most important things we're going to do, and we have a framework built for you, right? Because confusion leads to chaos, which leads to certainty, which means I'm just not going to do anything new, right? We don't want that. So you're going to create a Google Drive folder, right? And inside of it, we're going to give you the subfolders like how would I say this? Administrative documents, contracts, right? Marketing assets, insights reports, and then any other valuable pieces of information that you can give people. And that's your workaround for the documents. It's Google Drive, right? So you can help a client before you go download the Google Drive, right? And say any of the documents and these things will be found here. And that's a simple workaround, right? So within Compass One, even on the client-facing tasks, you can hyperlink out to something, right? So if it says review your weekly insights reports, you just put a link to the Google Drive and you show them just to double click the folder and click the date and you're done. right? So that's the workaround, right? So it's not a perfect system today, but there are ways for you still to effectively communicate this where everything still lives in one place. Does that answer your question, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to that primarily the workaround for documents, and I think everybody understands like the CMAs, the marketing assets, market updates, which I consider to be collections, the team. That's all already integrated. That's all part of it. It's just and again, it's the point, everybody, of the hands-on tomorrow is that we could go through this, but in person tomorrow we can actually go through and say, okay, here's your dummy email, what Schrog's already asked you to do. You've now sent yourself and signed up, or you haven't. We're going to walk through it together tomorrow. We're actually going to pull in a CMA. We're going to pull in marketing assets. We're going to pull in the team and a collection. And then you're going to log in as you were a client and say, oh, that's what my dashboard looks like. This is how I, as a seller, am going to see the interactions with my agent and any comments my agent is making on other listings that have sold. And so, again, that's that tomorrow in-person session so we can actually go through and have a hands-on experience of it.
Now, the other part important too is like real-time collaboration, right? The ability for a client just to know what's coming up next will solve 70% of your communication issues. When's the photo shoot? What's next? Train them. Like, go into Compass One, see what's coming up. If you have additional questions, let me know, right? So the better that we get at understanding the client view, the more effective we're going to be in adding things, customizing it, and understanding how to leverage the tool the best. Anyone else have questions? I know I didn't do that good of a job where nobody has any questions. Everyone always has questions.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm gonna, because it's asked here. Somebody says, you know, how do you get the Compass One link? And again, part of the in-person session tomorrow, so we can actually walk people through how to do it. But just so you guys know, when you create and you're in the Compass platform and you go in and you create in this instance, a new listing, and you assign that to that property to a client, and you go into that business tracker, you can go down and you can say invite client on the client dashboard. So everything's done from within Business Tracker in order to bring that client in. So I see the question, but I want to again reiterate, like, our purpose of doing this tomorrow is that we can lead people through it, and then we'll provide a Zoom quick session that's about 2 minutes long that actually shows how we set up one of these portals for a client.
So look, to add on to what Sean's saying, the context of today is to introduce the tool, show you how to most effectively communicate it, and give you a best practice of how to use it with your clients. Step 2 is taking the information, and your brain's going to be churning, and then going to the hands-on workshop. Every hands-on workshop, the goal of it is then to take our prescriptive use case and show you how to hit those buttons that build this and get you to use it in one way that we're telling you to use it. So it should eliminate all the confusion of what should I do with the tool? How should I use it? What's my client going to see? And things around that arena that generally get people stuck in not using new technology, right? It's our fear of making a mistake or looking bad that literally hinders our growth in utilizing what we have. There's another question. Is this the same session as we did a couple weeks ago? Sean, I think you could answer that.
From a Compass One, the in-person session will be, I mean, similar if you're already familiar with how to use the Compass One, if you're leveraging it with your clients, if you understand what the dashboard looks like, if you know how to set up a business tracker, then the session tomorrow would be a repeat of that session. If you haven't invited a seller yet onto it, and you haven't really seen what the seller sees and haven't seen the email the seller sees, and you haven't seen the login the seller sees, then no, then you should come tomorrow.
I think everyone should come, right? You're never going to get too much practice at something. And I think the whole process of, look, if you look at it really simply, we shared with you, right? I say we because I'm in this now for the foreseeable future with you. So good, bad, and different, right? I'm with you guys. What you guys learned how to do is how the basics work for you as an agent, right? What we're going to talk about tomorrow more is using your dummy account and understanding the client experience, right? Like, you'll hit those buttons as an agent, But where they left it last time was, okay, like, this is how I do it. But the part that you're always afraid of is, what is my client going to see? What are they going to say? What happens? What happens? What happens? Right? So we're going to adopt this new mindset of the best way to use the tool is to be the consumer. All right. Anybody else? All right, all, with love in my heart, I love you all. Cannot be more excited to hear your successes, to continue our journey together. So next week, we're going to talk about Compass One for buyers, and let the rocket ship take off. Bye, everybody.